Hello Subway franchisees, my name is Michael Lentini. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for both the JPW and the Northwoods BDA Group territory. Now as we continue in our FLC Rewind series, this week I interviewed franchise owner Tom Fornicola. So sit back and enjoy today's interview as Tom shares a best practice on tipping. Tom, thanks for joining us for this FLC Rewind series. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where your stores are, how many stores you own, how you got involved with Subway. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, my name is Tom Fornicola. I live in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, which is about as far east in our territory as you can get and still remain inside the United States. It's in northern Michigan. It's a far eastern tip of the Upper Peninsula. I've been a franchisee since 1997. And at one point I had 5 stores and we're down to 2 now. Okay. And still loving it. You know, I used to have several other businesses. They've all been sold, and I'm all in with Subway right now, and I think it's going to be good for the next 10 years, and then I can retire.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I know your field consultant, Mike Jasonson, has had nothing but great things to say about you, your team, your operations. And so thanks again for joining. I asked you to join to specifically talk about enabling tipping as a best practice on the credit card reader. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions on that. And the first one is, why did you decide to enable tipping?
Tipping has always been a little bit of an issue with the staff because, of course, they want to make more money. My resistance to it was personal because I know when I went around all these places in my life and I saw tip jars, it just rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. When the credit card tipping came around, I thought, okay, this is a good thing. I don't have to deal with the tip cup on the counter, and let's give it a try and see how it goes. The employees love it. It's just free money for them that it wasn't easy for them to get before, and now it pops up on every transaction. The customer can say yes or no, and most of them say no, but the ones that say yes are very generous. So yeah, the employees absolutely love it. I'm glad we did it.
Yeah, so there's a couple things that you said that stuck out to me. You said the employees loved it, so that answers one of my questions. What was their response? That's probably fairly obvious. Do you have an idea, just real rough estimate on how many tips, whether it's a daily number or weekly number or monthly number, what are your employees earning in tips?
I have, I just did payroll a couple of days ago, and I separated that out on my spreadsheet so I can tell you the average. I have 2 stores now. One is a Walmart, one's a freestanding unit. Freestanding, of course, because of our geographical situation and COVID, is doing twice the sales as our Walmart. But the Walmart employees are getting more in tips. Right now, my company average is $1.25 an hour.
Wow.
The Walmart average is $1.40 an hour, and the freestanding store is $1.22 an hour. And it's a great way for them to work at Subway and make more money without a lot of burden on our financial aspect.
Yeah, and you're looking at something right now. So one of my questions is, and one thing I know that franchises are hesitant about is the back end reporting of tipping. Is it hard? Or is it challenging to find the amount of tips for a payroll to determine what employees received? What is that like? Is it clunky? Is it easy?
If I'll assume everybody has some familiarity with Live IQ reporting on the partner's website.
Yeah.
If you're looking at that, which I highly encourage, then it's very easy. It's just a matter of going to the reporting screen, clicking on extracted reports, and then there's a tip report on there. You click that, and what I do is I export it to my computer in Excel format because that's what I'm more familiar with, but there are 6 or 7 formats that you can export to. So now it's on your desktop. You can manipulate it however you want. So I've created a spreadsheet. I just type in all their weekly numbers, and then we put it in our payroll spreadsheet, and it's pretty easy, but you have to assume that you're familiar and competent with Live IQ, and I'm sure whoever does your bookkeeping and whatever your situation is fairly well versed in that.
Yeah. No, that's great to hear. I think that'll be good for all franchisees that are viewing this to know that if they have a pretty general understanding of Live IQ, that it's easy. And then I'm going to attach instructions for the backend reporting and the tip enabling, all that kind of stuff in the email that gets sent out with this video. So they'll have everything that they need. So,
Yeah.
Tom, anything else specific to tipping that you want to share with franchisees?
To activate it, it was very simple. You went into Subway Payment Manager, and the hardest part of this whole process was remembering what your Subway Payment Manager password was. So I searched my emails, I got that goofy number, and went in and literally checked one box that said enable credit card tipping.
Yeah.
Saved it, and it started that minute. People were able to start leaving tips. The customer response has been great. Like I said earlier, most people don't, but when they do, they tip pretty well.
Yeah.
They're service people, or they have kids or friends that are in that level of the industry or something. But when they decide to tip, it's usually a nice one for them.
Yeah, that's great. And I would imagine that for sandwich artists that are working behind the counter, it's almost a way to encourage them or motivate them to have really, really good guest service so that they get that tip at the end of the transaction as well. So
Right.
that's pretty cool. Tom, the last question I want to ask you, obviously the year 2020 is demanding a lot from us professionally and personally. And so I just wanted to take the opportunity to ask you, what's like maybe one way that you're remaining positive through the year 2020?
Well, personally, I just stopped watching the news a long time ago because there's a tremendous bias on either direction, whatever side of the coin you're on.
Yeah.
And not much of it is very positive. So I record a 3-hour block of the news and I fast forward it down to about 20 minutes every day, get
Yeah.
the highlights. The employees, I mean, every little challenge comes up, you just encourage them and work through it. Nobody wanted to wear the masks. Now everybody's got a mask on, and I see them, they walk out to their car and they drive home with their masks on. The hurdle is getting them to adapt and then understand that it's not the end of the world. We have a huge challenge. I live on a border town, and Canadians can't come to our town and shop, so our Walmart sales are really bad. But we cut our schedule, we watch our food waste, we just manage it on a daily basis and keep the employees motivated. It's a challenge for sure, but we can overcome it. And the tipping is a part of it. We have, just a quick note on that, our lowest person in the 2-week period made $15 in tips. Our highest was 120.
Well, Tom, that's all really, really good information to have. And there's someone else that I respect a whole lot actually said the same thing in terms of the news. He says that he does about a 20-minute, he called it a study every day on the news. The news is not something to have on and watch 24/7. So I think that's very wise advice. I also appreciate that you said that you're still being there as a leader in your restaurants, taking care of your team, and when challenges come up, that you're there for them. And so really, really good. So, Tom, stay on the line for a minute as I'll wrap up and close out this video, but stay on with me. So to our audience, to all of our franchisees, and really behalf of all franchisees that are going to watch this time, I want to say thank you. And for all of you that are watching, thank you for your time. Continue to create great, stay positive, stay healthy, and continue to stay with us through this FLC Rewind series as we produce weekly videos. Take care.